Hello and welcome back to another episode of TerraTech with your host Linda the Silver Dragon. Today we're going to build a battleship for Michael Hay. Yep, a battleship. Full-scale, giant, super-duper, mega, ridiculous battleship that will be completely immobile because of its sheer scale. And we're going to build it. So, here we go. Well, no one can claim that I did not try my best to make something massively awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that took hours. And I think that's enough for me to say I've done my share of the big ones. This is why I haven't been producing a whole lot of them, because they take hours and hours to build. Hours and hours. Let me just take a moment to pause the video and see like how long this took to build. Okay, so this took about 3 hours. Just under, really, but about 3 hours went into this construct. I can't take that long on every single one of the contest entries, and that's why there aren't that many large contest entries like this. This is going to be possibly the only contest entry that's going to be of this kind of scale. For this contest, anyway. Simply because I just can't manage to build things this large that quickly. The amount of a week. Not to mention life and everything else that demands my attention and time. Oh my gosh. Well, if nothing else, I'd hope this meets the kind of demands and requests of our friend who suggested this idea. I believe it was Michael Hay. Michael Hay, I wouldn't be surprised if you're one of the winners of this here contest, because damn, this thing is huge. It's covered in guns. Loads of gyroscopes to help maintain its stability in water, because I imagine buoyancy would be kind of obnoxious to work this into a system. I had like 120 frames when I started, 120 to 140 something frames, and now I'm down to 30. That might give you some idea of like the sim speed effect that this has had. But you know what? If I was gonna go on the ocean, I'd probably on the ocean. If there was ever an ocean in TerraTech and I was gonna go on it, this is what I'd put there. And since it's almost entirely made of GSO blocks, I think it'd actually be much cheaper than if I had made it out of like these Geocorp blocks or a number of other things. It still has quite a few of the experimental parts in here, but honestly, I think this thing is mostly fairly cheap, considering. I mean, the Venture guns will throw up the price a bit. I have no idea what this thing would actually cost. It's incredibly immobilized. It has loads of guns that probably would fry most enemies. Powerful broadside capability, powerful forward assault capability. Some anti-air, as it were, with the Hellfire guns. That's why I put those in there. I was like, you know, the pound cannons aren't probably going to be all that accurate against air targets, so why not have some Hellfire cannons to spray the air? And, yeah. That's basically what arose out of this madness. Yeah. So, this is going to be the largest entry I'm going to have in the contest, and I'm probably going to cut them to about a quarter of the size from here on out, whatever ones I'm picking up. This may be also worth a good time to mention that all contest entries from this point onwards are going to be, it's going to be about 5 to 10 more entries, and from here on out, I'm basically kind of working towards Saturday being the poll date. I'm not going to be able to do everyone's entries as I had originally intended. Even if I tried to, it probably would have taken multiple weeks, because at the pace I've been able to put these vehicles out, it was basically 4 or 5 a day. And that's partially because of the videos that I had to make, and also partially because of the amount of effort it took to just build them in the first place. I'm glad that short drop doesn't do any damage, because that definitely would do a lot of damage pretty quickly if it did, because it broke the bottom last time when I accidentally somehow triggered an undo command there. So I had to fix that, and I lost some of the fuel tanks that were inside, maybe something else or so, but yeah. I filled in a number of the compartments inside with stuff, and then I just left some of the extras just unfinished because it was taking so long to build this thing. It was getting out of hand. And at this point, I think I've made the point of why something this big is not something I'm going to be building much of for the rest of the contest. It just takes way too long. I'm going to try and build a number of vehicles that are also kind of unique to their own part from here on out, if I can help it. Just because I want some unique vessels to add to the contest. More unique vessels in their own right. So yeah. With that all said, I guess that's it for this episode. I kind of wish I could put this on some water and then have it duke it out with some patrol boat or something, but as awesome as that would be, I don't think it's gonna happen. Unless maybe like stuck wheels on it and this drove along and fought something else that was kind of boat-like and on wheels. But anyway, yeah. I spent way too much time building this thing. Way too much time. I'll be recording. Salembo out.